The story of Charles Dickens, The Value of Imagination. Charles Dickens was born in 1812. His father was a clerk in southern England. He wasn't paid much, so the family lived in an old run-down house. Then Mr. Dickens lost his job, so they moved to London. Mr. Dickens still can't find a job, so he went deep into debt. One day, the police showed up and asked if Mr. Dickens can pay his debt. When Mr. Dickens said he didn't have enough money, one police answered that he need to get into debtor's prison. With no one to support them, Mrs. Dickens and the children, except Charles, moved into the prison with their father. Even though Charles are only 12 years old, but he got a job in a dirty, dark, black shoe polish factory, working 12 hours a day. He scarcely made enough money to buy a bread and rent a bed in an old bedroom. Charles wondered what would become of him. Desperate, Charles' father studied shorthand. When he received money from a relative, he paid his debt, and get out of prison. Then he found a work for being a count reporter. Charles quit his work and go to school. The teacher was cruel, but Charles studied hard and learned quickly. She also studied people, paying attention to what they did and why they did it. He also paid attention about the look and
Pay attention 就要加 to 呢 Pay attention to notice.
to notice how the place looks and smells. 2 years later, he got a job for being a reporter in House of Parliament. Even though he found this work fascinating, but he wondered why they don't adopt laws to help poor people. Then one day Dickens decided to be imaginative, and he started to write a story about himself. Every character seems to be a little bit like someone he knew.
完全是
He had known. Finally, one day in evening, he dropped off his story in pseudonym of Bath. Pseudonym of Bath in monthly magazine office. 1 month later, Dickens shouted joyfully, "They printed my story. I'm an author now." The magazine wanted more and more stories from Bath. Very fastly, Dickens are written stories. Was writing stories about children working in the factory, the family living in debtor's prison, and poor people being hungry. He made the story read fun to read, giving high hopes to people to do something for things that were wrong. Folks around the world were fascinated for characters that he brought to life. In Dickens' stories, people could conceive how a shoe polish factory looked like, or know how it feels living in debtor's prison. Dickens' book also became popular in America. When he went to America to read stories to people, large throngs greeted him. While he was there, England passed laws to protect children that need to work. The Parliament also closed debtors' prison and passed laws so poor children can attend to school. After Dickens returned from America, a great dinner was given in his honor. A host said, Mr. Dickens, your imagination always brought us joy, happiness.
Has given us great pleasure.
You have become the most popular novelist of our times, and you have changed some of our laws, so it is more fair to our people. One woman exclaimed excitedly when she met him at the street. Mr. Dickens, let me touch the hand that have filled my home with many friends. That pleased Dickens the most.
How?